Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? It's your boy Steven here, come back at you with another episode of the Real Steven Show. Alright, so for today's video, it's super windy outside, so I'm gonna try and make it as quick as possible. And I apologize for any audios that comes through. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. What I wanted to do today is do a video breakdown for you of how Casey Neistat shoots a video. Now I know a lot of people have done a very good job on the mechanical sides of things as to how he does a video, like how he sets up his shots, his time lapses, everything like that. So I'm going to touch on the storytelling perspective, how Casey Neistat tells his story. So without further ado, let's begin. Before I fully jump in and start talking to you guys about his storytelling, let me just break down some quick stats for you. So let's drop something in over here. I'll hop on this side, and today's video, I'm gonna reviewing the video he just released today. The video is 10 minutes and 28 seconds long. Of that 10 minutes and 28 seconds, Casey is actually talking, using his words to tell the story, for a grand total of 4 minutes and 42 seconds. In other words, 44% of the video is Casey talking, and 56% of the video is him showing you what's going on. So that's the first thing that I noticed with Casey does compared to everyone that I've been working with, is most people, they like to tell the story rather than show it. Casey likes to show the story rather than tell. The following clip is going to be a clip of him going to the ATM, taking out some money, and it's going to leave the audience wondering why he's taking out the money. And then in the very next clip, he shows you why. Check it out.
Can I have a round trip ticket to Amsterdam City Center? Yes. Thank you.
Alright, so the next thing that I wanted to address from the statistical point of view is, of the 4 minutes and 42 seconds he spends talking, 1 minute and 28 seconds of that he's moving while he's talking. See, most people think you're walking while you shoot a vlog. But when Casey shoots a vlog, 69% of the time in his last video, the shot was pre-framed. He set the camera down on his tripod, framed it up, and shot it. So he's already thinking about what he said, set up the shot, and framed it. It's not an on-the-go vlog. It's him storytelling, setting up the frame, and verbally telling you the story. The last thing that I wanted to include is the overall number of cuts and shots in his video. In this last video that was 10 minutes and 28 seconds long, there was a total of 84 cuts that I counted. I could be off one or two, but right around 84 cuts. So that just tells you how many cuts really go into making a good video. So now that's over, let's actually jump into the video and let me outline the video storytelling breakdown and how Casey does it. So when Casey shoots his vlog, he always has a very similar outline in every single video. And what he does is, in the start of the video, in the first 30 seconds, he'll give you context for the entire video. In this video, it's Amsterdam. Check out the first scene.
Mine too. Mine too.
So in the first scene, he establishes his location and then goes into a time lapse. That's going to be the context for the entire video. Then, after about 1 minute and 30 seconds into it, he jumps into his first story.
I have a really, really bad idea. A really bad idea.
Now this is the story that Casey's gonna carry out through the entire video. This entire vlog is a story of, will Casey or won't Casey make it back to the airplane in time?
Okay, here's my bad idea. My layover right now is 3 hours, but we got in a half an hour early, so I have 3.5 hours. Now, I'd rather not sit in the lounge for 3.5 hours. My favorite city in the whole world, Amsterdam, is right there. I'm gonna try to go to the city, get back to the airport, and make my flight in 3 hours. It's a terrible idea.
Now, Casey goes on to explain the context of the story over the next minute and a half, and then jumps into his second mini story. He's going to Amsterdam to go to the bridge where him and Candace proposed. Candace is his wife, where him and his wife proposed.
Okay, allow me to take you on a skateboarding tour of one of my favorite cities in all of the world, Amsterdam. our first stop, and only stop, will be the bridge that I proposed to Candace on.
So Casey then spends the next minute taking you to the bridge, and once there, he jumps into his second story that he's going to talk about, his mini story of his proposal to his wife, Candace. So after Casey's talked about this for another 2 minutes, he goes back into his first story of whether or not he's gonna make it back to the airport in time. There's a scene right here, let me show it to you.
All right, that's my whole Amsterdam proposal story. It's now 7:32.
Right there, he clocks in with the little timer in the corner, and that's to remind the audience of his initial story of will he make it back to the airport in time. Now, at this point, we're thinking that that's gonna be the rest of the video. It's gonna be his story of getting back to the airport. But then he jumps into this shot. And this is where the third story comes into play in Casey's vlog, the story of how he broke his hand. He spends about 2 minutes in front of the camera telling the story, but notice how he actually, when he hits the climax, telling the audience that he broke his hand, look at how he does it.
But I fell on my hand in a really bad way. And when I looked down at my pinky, this is an accurate depiction of what my hand looked like. That was my pinky.
See, this is something that Casey does in every one of his videos. He always shows you rather than tells you. Now, after this third story of how he broke his hand is over, you're already about 3/4 of the way done with the video. And every time what Casey does is he builds up, builds up, builds up, and right when he hits the climax, he ends it and transitions back into this other story. Now, the last 2.5 minutes of the video is him concluding his first story, which is will he make it back to the airport, and he shows you that he does. And then concluding his story of breaking his hand, showing the ice on his hand. And then the final outro clip where he says that the doctor says it's broken, but he's gonna be all right. The last thing that I'm gonna say is I wanted to bring up how Casey ended his vlog. He does this scene right here. You see, this is classic Casey Neistat. Casey could have said, that's the end of the vlog, we're leaving Amsterdam, it was good seeing you. But he put his whole thematic purpose of that video in one sentence and showed it to you rather than saying.
Mine too. Mine too.
And that's what makes Casey a good cinematographer, videographer, producer, whatever you call it. That's what makes his videos stand out from everyone else. And with that, I hope the wind wasn't too much, and I hope you liked the video. If you did enjoy the video, let me know in the comments below. This video took a lot of work, so if you guys liked it, I'll do another breakdown on a different YouTuber or cinematographer that I like. But if you didn't like it, then I don't know if I want to do this again, because it was a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? If there's anyone in particular you want me to break down, leave it in the comments below. And until next time, remember guys, peace, love, and happiness always. Bye guys. Also, if we turn this into a series, what do you think we should call it? Give me some sort of name or title for this series. I think we could do one of these like once a week, maybe twice a week. I don't know. You gotta let me know. I don't know.